What happens if I run out of money in retirement? Well, the cold hard truth is you're either going to have to go back to work or you're going to have to cut your expenses. And people don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Those are the only two things that you can do. You can either pick up a hobby, um, increase your income, or cut down some of your expenses. Now, in retirement, it's a little easier to cut down your expenses. You're not going back to work. So maybe that's gas money. Gas is super high right now. So that can cut some expenses. You may not need to buy as many work clothes because you're not working 40 hours a week and changing clothes every 5 days or anything else like that. So your laundry bill may be cutting down. You may not be using as much electricity. Your kids may be out the house. You may not be eating as much food or eating out at lunch and things of that nature. So there may be some grace in between of what you need now as far as your lifestyle and what you need in retirement. So that if you do run out of money in retirement, I always say that maybe you didn't prepare as much as you thought you would. And majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So that means once you retire, you're going to be living on whatever's coming in. And we kind of want to sacrifice early and have some of that grace and live below our means. You know, my dad used to say, if you if you live below your means, you'll always have money. And I think some people don't think like that. So the biggest fear is running out of money. So how do we avoid that? Is planning now and saying, okay, well, what is my living circumstances now? How do I manage this debt that I'm in? You know, maybe I have 20, 40, $50,000 in debt. How do I manage this before I reach my retirement age or maybe even some years prior to, so I can start building up my nest egg. So in retirement, I don't have the fear of running out of money. You know, like I said, my house is going to be paid off. The cars are going to be paid off. Your debt is going to be paid off, and all the income that's coming in, you can use that to kind of manage your lifestyle. But the practice starts early, right? We don't need to be 62, 63 trying to practice how to live below our means. If we do it now while the income is coming in, if we make a mistake, okay, so be it. We make a mistake, we overspent, okay, now we can correct it. We still have some income coming in and we can practice it. We can get better. Money management is about repetition. You know, many of my clients, when we first started to work together, they weren't that good. You know, they're making some mistakes and, you know, they're emotional and they make some purchases that maybe they shouldn't have made, but the thing is, it's okay because they still had income coming in. But once they retire, those mistakes become compounded. You know, the risk of those mistakes become compounded to your livelihood. And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of running out of debt. And everyone says, hey, well, you know, prices are raising, you know, are going up and, you know, what can we do? And oh, it's everything's so expensive and things of that nature. Yeah, your lifestyle is expensive. It's true. But the thing is, think about your situation wherever you, whatever you're at. I don't know where you're at, whether you're in debt or not, or, you know, however you're living, there's someone who is surviving with less than you. You know, somebody has less money, somebody has less cars, somebody has a smaller house, and they're surviving. And that's what you have to understand is that it's not necessarily a life or death situation, it's a quality of life. So when you're talking about running out of money, yeah, you may run out of money to live that lifestyle, but running out of money that you can't survive, that depends. You know, if you don't have any retirement, if you're not working and you have zero income, yeah, you're going to run out of money. You're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that you want. So the idea is what I'm going to do financial planning. I say, what is the lifestyle that we can sustain? It's not the one that you, I mean, it is the one that you want, right? We want to save up to the one that you want. But the one that you need is the one that you can sustain for the next 20 or 30 years. So when we're running those numbers, we go, okay, can you do this for the next 20, 30 years? If the answer is yes, with a high probability, then we're right on track. We can make adjustments as we go. But, you know, if you're $100,000 in debt and you're continuously, you know, spending more and more and more to sustain the lifestyle that technically you haven't earned. And I don't mean to ruffle any feathers, but when you are in debt, that tells me that you are living a life that you haven't earned yet, right? You're borrowing money from the credit card department or the credit card company for that matter. And you're saying, hey, I have a lifestyle, I have this house, I have this car, I have these clothes, I have this whatever, this jewelry or whatever it may be, and I can't afford it. You know, I haven't worked long enough, I haven't made enough money, but I still want it and I have it. Now what do I do? And that's when you're in debt. So that could be an issue too.